Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I want to, there are a lot of areas I would like to get to, but between me and my colleagues, at least on this side of the dais, I think we'll get to them all. Let me start by reminding people back 9 months ago what President Trump called at the time, though he wants to rebrand it and never talks about it now, his one big, beautiful bill, though it has been known by many other names. That piece of legislation, despite your rhetoric about this budget committee succeeding on deficit and debt, according to the Congressional Budget Office, as well as other nonpartisan groups, both left of center and right of center, have said that single piece of legislation adds more to our deficit and debt than any other piece of legislation passed by Congress in American history. In addition to the over $4 trillion it adds to our national debt, it eliminates health care coverage for more than 15 million Americans, according to the CBO. The Kaiser Family Foundation says it's actually more than 17 million Americans who will lose their health care. Are they really all, according to you? Really? You're going to sit here with a straight face and say they're all illegals, they were all defrauding the system? That's actually your position?
Yes. With regard to the people that have lost that.
I mean, that's laughable. I'm sorry, I'll give you a chance to respond.
You had a number of issues with regard to your comments there.
Wait, let me just.
Number one.
Sorry, wait, well, reclaiming my time, I just want to be clear. I'm citing, we acknowledge, the CBO figure, that's where I'm getting the 15 million from, and the Kaiser Family Foundation says 17 million. You're saying none of them are legitimately on this, even though we had one of them actually testify before us at this committee.
I didn't say all of them are illegals. I said there's also the benefit of people returning to the workforce because they are able-bodied individuals, or they should not have been on the system regardless because of the inability to address fraud in the aftermath of the.
Okay, so they're all either illegals or defrauding the system.
Well, that's certainly not a provocative statement that we have fraud all over the country, is it? Mr. Ranking Member?
Why are, I imagine there are fraud in all sorts of private and public sector areas, but the idea that 15 million Americans are about to lose their health care, the single biggest loss of health care in American history, mind you, not even during the Great Depression did 15 million Americans lose their health care coverage. The idea that all of those people who are about to lose their health care are defrauding the system or are illegal immigrants, that is not supported by any facts whatsoever.
Are now working and getting the benefit of a job with employer-sponsored health care coverage. Look, these assessments by CBO and others are often very static.
It's right of center groups as well. Reclaim my time. I only have a few minutes, so excuse me. But it's not just CBO. I mean, right of center groups, left of center groups, nonpartisan groups. You're saying they're all wrong.
I am saying that the budget community typically relies on static thinking, static scoring, current law baselines, and so you don't get an accurate picture of the extent to which the reforms that are being made are going to have a dynamic impact with better programs, more health care, for instance, $50 billion.
Well, let me, before you get to the friends, I only have a couple minutes, so let me actually transition to my next subject, because I think I'll only have time now for this. The president recently said, I mean, he was talking about the record increase in gas prices thanks to him and his war of choice in Iran, but he diverted in a spontaneous, he's speaking extemporaneously in the White House just a few days ago. He said, and I quote, "The United States can't take care of daycare. That has to be up to a state." He then added, Medicaid, Medicare, all these individual things, they can do it on a state basis. You can't do it on federal. So I'm just curious, from your perspective at OMB, have you taken any actions to turn Medicare back to the states?
No, and the president doesn't want to do that with regard to these important federal programs.
I mean, he said it. So you're disagreeing with what the president said?
No, I'm saying that the president he's talking about fraud in these programs.
He didn't mention, excuse me, reclaim my time. Nowhere, I have the full statement in front of me. Nowhere in front of me is the word fraud presented. What he was talking about, he later at a different part said, we have to pay more for wars, and instead we can't afford Medicaid, Medicare, child care, things like that. And looking at the budget proposal, this is why I raise it, 442 billion, correct me if I'm wrong, 442 billion increase in defense. That's what you're asking for, about a 42% increase, is that right?
Correct. For many paradigm-shifting investments that we need this.
A 42% increase on what was already a record high for defense. And look, I serve as part of our U.S. delegation to the NATO Parliament. I am no pacifist. I believe in a strong national defense. I believe the United States, I believe the world is at its best when the United States is the strongest military. The idea that we're going to pay for a 42% increase in this military, in this Department of Defense, and at the same time cut Medicaid, Medicare, not pay for childcare, all of these things that the American people need, in the case of Medicare, have paid into, that is a reflection of priorities that are out of whack. And I see I've gone over my time. I appreciate your indulgence. So with that, I yield back.